Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Agoraphobia, the show where I will cram every little detail of Paragon into your head and help you make sense of it all. Yet last episode we looked at hero roles and general Paragon MOBA mechanics and how it fits into the genre. This episode will be going over the menus, or the home screen, the profile, and how the hero roles interact with the map, and also basic deck building. So, we'll start with the menus of course. We have the home screen, the first screen you'll ever see when you come into Paragon. It'll give you an intro video, you can watch that if you want, and general gameplay tips. Heavily advised, you need to learn as much as you can. We'll start down here with the chat. You can whisper friends, you can also mute people through this, but you just /mute type their name. You will not be able to talk to these people and have less chance of being matched with them. You'll have different tabs throughout the game. You'll have your team, when you're actually matched with a team. You'll have your party, which is the people you'll be pre-made with. And then you have your whisper, which you can whisper individual friends. Moving on from that, we have your boosts. You have experience boosts, reputation boosts. These allow you to progress quicker and more card packs quicker in general. And then you have your hero level, how much you've, well, not hero level, rather your profile level, the one that you've leveled up throughout playing the game. Every time you play a game, this will go up slightly and you'll get rewards every level. It could be extra reputation, extra coins. Reputation's used to spend on card packs and master challenges. Master challenges are when you hit level 5 of a hero and you want to purchase their challenger skin and progress more with the hero. Coins allow you to buy boosts and, in the future, certain skins. This will be your profile name, of course. Then we have the daily rewards. This is a reward you'll earn each day, so a tribute just could be a bit of rep, could be a tiny bit of coins, anything like that. You can also earn commendations, which are generally a bit better tributes, and you can also earn deck slots and card packs through these sometimes. Then we have the friends list. You can see who's online, of course, you can see who's offline, you can put yourself as away, you can add friends, and you can change some of the settings with it. Pretty simple and self-explanatory. Then we have all the menus up here. You'll have your settings, you've got video, gameplay, so video is self-explanatory, you know, all your graphical settings, gameplay, HUDs, controller sensitivity and stuff, mouse sensitivity, reset to defaults, it's quite good. And volume, overall volume, there's no individual sliders yet because it's in beta, so it doesn't have incredible amount of sound options. You can manage your account, you can change your region, of course we're still not going on Australia, 9999 ping, and controls, where you can edit all your hotkeys and everything. And again, controls comes under that. You can report bugs, probably a good thing to do if you see a bug in beta. Just go on here, you can type it in, submit, nice and quick. You can also go to the forums and put it in. This will help Epic improve the game quicker. You can report people who you didn't like. You can also do this in-game, but you can also do it out of game. You just identify the player in the game that you're in and what they did wrong. So it's a good thing to do to keep the community good. Support, that will open a separate web page in your external browser, as it says, which will allow you to contact Epic, which is useful if you have any issues, and then legal things, which is pointless, and Epic exit the game. Then you've got news here. This will keep you up to date with the latest news. So of course, Grimm's just come out, so they've got that there, and you can also go straight to the forums and tutorials from here. The little tutorials are useful, they're not too informative, hence I'm doing videos like this, so that you can get up to speed much faster, because the basic videos will only go over very, very basic stuff, and we'll move on to more advanced things as the videos progress. And then finally in the bottom right, it says early access, but you have your party, you can invite people through this. I don't know why it says him. I don't even know if I have him on my friends list. Oh, I do. But he's in the menu, so that's why I'll show it. But you can invite people who aren't also in the menus through this, and they'll get an invite and they can start up the game and join. But you'll see each member here. You'll see a hero they pick in the play screen. We'll do the play screen last. So we'll move on to the store. As I said, with coins and rep, this is where you can buy everything. You get different card packs now. So you've got your weekly pack, which will contain 3 cards that are unique to that week, so you can guarantee get these cards in that pack. It's pointless to buy it twice, of course, because you'll get copies of them, so make sure you only buy one. I already own those cards, so I don't need to buy it. And then you have your Founders Packs here, which you can purchase, because you have to purchase the small one to get into the game unless you've been given a key by a friend or something, or won a competition or something. So these are how you upgrade the packs as well. You can, if you've got the Challenger Pack, you can upgrade to the Masters Pack for a reduced cost, of course. And of course you can buy your coins here. So you've got all your boosts here, mainly just win boosts, day boosts for XP and reputation. So 30 wins, 30 days, all that stuff. And I guess, as I said before, they'll help you progress quicker and You can spend money on those if you have to, but it's not absolutely necessary. Then you get your different card packs. Spend a reputation. Standard card pack, 5 different cards. Any affinity, just random cards. Of course, it said the weekly pack before. Then you can purchase individual affinity packs. So what that means is, if I purchase this one, I can only get in 1 order affinity card. So of course, you can purchase 2 of these for 9,000, which is only 1,000 less than the card pack. You're only getting 2 cards, but you're guaranteeing that affinity. And as we'll see on the card collection, you can see your different sort of types of cards that you own. Like, it'll tell you how many order cards you have, how many intellect cards you have, how many growth and universal, etc. So you can know which ones you've got to look for. So you can purchase individual packs, or you can just buy 1 random card. I wouldn't ever really recommend this because it still contains universal, and of course 4 of these is 1,000 more than a card pack, and you get an extra one in this, so always purchase these over these in my opinion, at least until they change this. I think what they were meant to do is make it so it only picks from the 5 main affinities, but there you go, look, you can get a random universal card too, which I guess can be useful in some sense, but that is literally just any card, and this is 5 any card, so more value out of this, so always purchase these. And then of course we have the corruption one down here. So then we move on to profile, and we've got the general overview. You can see how much you've played for, how many games you've played, your wins, how many tower takedowns, inhibitor takedowns. What a takedown means, it doesn't mean you've killed it, but as you can see it says participated in destroying. So if you've helped hit the inhib, you've hit it once, and your friend kills it, you actually get a takedown for that. And that's the same with the core. Then you got your kills, your assists, harvesters placed, harvesters destroyed. Just general statistics, it's quite nice to know. This is where you can also see your account rewards, so this is what you get for leveling up, should be quite good. And card packs, this is how you open them. I don't have any, so you'll be able to see them here and you'll be able to open them as you go, and of course you can get more packs from there, which is purchasing through reputation still. And the hero screen, this is where you can see your progression with each hero. You can click on each individual hero and it'll tell you what stage you're at with them. You earn different rewards for leveling them up. Once you hit the challenge, you have to buy the Master Challenge, so there you go, initiate the Master Challenge, so you have to pay about 75,000 rep for that, which is worth it if you really like the hero, really want to progress with them and get the Master skin in the end. So, you know, it's up to you, but I prefer getting card packs in general. I mean, I purchased the Founders Pack that gives me all the Master Challenges for now, so I wouldn't have to purchase them, but even if I didn't do that and I didn't have any of the Master Challenges, I'd recommend just going for card packs at this stage, at least until you get the cards you want. But you get things like taunts, extra rewards, extra card packs for leveling up the hero, and you get a little overview of their abilities. So that's rather simple. We'll go over decks and cards in a second. We'll go to the watch tab first. So the amazing thing about Paragon is it already has amazing spectating and replay system. I've only found like 1 or 2 bugs of it so far, but they've been nothing breaking, nothing terrible. Well, there's Doomwind, we played against him a few times before. So as you can see on Paragon TV, it has featured ones that you can watch. You generally see some decent people up here, but of course the best one to watch is featured. For that there's none here at the moment, but usually they'll have some recent games from, you know, the top players like Fossil #1, Beacon #2, etc. And that were really good games. So, and then you have recent, which is your recent games, I think. Oh no, this is every recent game. So this will be every single game that's happened recently. You can just watch them if you want. There's gonna be bot games all over the place at the moment. I hope they exclude those at some point, because who wants to watch one person slaughter bots? I mean, up to you, but I don't think that's very interesting, so I'd pretty much ignore that, per se. And unless you're looking for a specific one that's in the recent that you know. But then you've got your personal ones, these are your recent games that you've played. So I've been playing a ton of Grim, that was a bot game that I did, just messing about. But you can pick up all your replays here, they get reset every patch, so as soon as the next patch happens you'll lose all your personal replays, so if you want to find something, find it before the next patch goes out. That's a very important detail if you want to look for certain clips for the recent videos. Then you've got your friends games. This is live and old recent games, so you can view any of them. So as I said, this is an amazing system. I wish they had something like this in League, because you can, they got us spectating somewhat, it's good, but they don't have a replay system, which is the best thing, because you can just watch all these old games and it's amazingly managed. And then of course you can search for any game. I don't know if you search by player, I think you search by player, so if we search for my name. No, there's no replays. Unless it's only live searching, but that might be it. But yeah, that's all the different functions in the watch tab. So we'll hop over to the play tab, and I'll just go over the heroes interacting with the map. So of course we talked over the basic roles and what each hero functions as a role in the game, but how that role interacts with the map is slightly different. So with a support like Decker or like with Muriel, you're going to be getting harvested a lot, you're going to be focused on warding, keeping the map safe, keeping your carry safe, as we said before, and your positioning is always going to be sort of towards the back, unless maybe you're Decker and you want to get in their faces and you have to body block for your friends, or allies rather, and get a good ulti off or something, your containment fence, because it's a very powerful ability. And you generally want to be a nuisance and disruption in fights, but you'll never be dealing damage. That's the one thing you won't be doing. You might pick up a kill by accident or something, but it's rare you're ever going to kill someone on your own, especially a carrier or a tank. Then fighters, there again, as I said in the previous video, you're going to go on the back line. This is a very important role. If you can play it right, you can change the whole course of a fight, because you can take out a carry very quickly, like a Kalari as an assassin, but generally not as quick unless you're really fed. You'll be rather durable, as I said, you can initiate quite nicely. You just got to avoid being kited by enemy abilities, so not being chasing around endlessly when you've got no dash or anything, and they can just use their CC and keep you at bay. Then you have your casters. I mean, Gadget's meant to be classed as support, but she's definitely a caster. She has every ability, deals damage, it has decent scaling. She's definitely more of a caster than a support. Not like Miro, who gives tons of shields, Decker, who provides lots more utility. She only has a speed up and a slow, even though the speed up is very significant. Casters, early game, you'll be wave clearing, putting a lot of pressure on. You can kill people very easily early on with your abilities. They have high base damage. Again, abilities have quite weak scaling. Gadget's one of the better ones. So as you get to late game, you'll transition to more of a utility support role, where you'll be, again, keeping carry safe, being disruptive, zone control, but you'll still deal significant damage if the enemy is caught in the wrong position and they don't have murals to keep them alive, or good steel walls, for example. Then we can move on to we'll move on to Kalari, assassin, well, the only assassin of the game, but the assassin's role would simply be kill the carry. Even if they trade 1-for-1 for the carry, that's essentially her job done. If she can hit a multi-man ult, so she hits several people with the ult, it's game-changing, it's pretty devastating. So generally though, you're looking just to pick off the carry. If you can pick off more than one, fantastic. If you can't, no worries, kill one, that's your job. You have to stay behind the enemy most of the time so you can achieve this. Due to the nature of easy warding in this game and the fact that everyone can have a warding item that can spot her out, she's quite weak at the moment, especially with her weak form of stealth that can be seen by wards. But she's rather mobile, she can do tons of damage in the right situation. If you're against suboptimal players who don't know how to do warding, which I'll be going over, so you people won't be that, of course, but if, you're playing against people who don't know how to ward, then she's going to crush the game and snowball out of control and win the game by herself. So that's Kalari in general. Then we'll go over carries like Murdoch, Grim, TB, Sparrow. These people are the late game powerhouses. They'll two-shot people late game with auto attacks. They'll kill people very quickly. The idea is to keep your carry safe, keep them farmed up early game. Casters support them nice and early game, by simply wave clearing so they get lots of card XP quickly, helping them kill people, get them fed up. So once they start get snowballing out of control, they'll hit their power spikes quicker, and they'll be able to get this crit mechanic going in which they'll be able to hopefully land 2 crits in a row and two-shot people, which will allow you to claim then objectives and of course eventually get to the core. So carries are your late game damage. The only, of course, weakness of them is they're extremely squishy by doing this. They can die in 1 or 2 hits themselves by other carries, they can get one shot by Kalaris. If a fighter gets on them like Feng Mao, they can be shredded down very quick. And even if someone like a Gideon or Gadget catches them out of position, they can burst them very quick. It's all about positioning, staying safe with a carry, dealing damage when you can, but never putting yourself in a situation where you're going to get caught by crowd control. It's your safety over, DPS, really. You have to stay safe. Because remember, if you're not alive, you can't do the damage, so, of course, staying alive is your main priority. But of course, don't let that not allow you to make plays. You should go to make plays, you should try and get in there and hit auto attacks and things when necessary, but if you're ever putting yourself in, the face of danger with a Grux Pearl or Rampage Rock, you've got to be really careful, because you don't want to get caught. If you ever have a Muriel, she's the one who sort of fixes these mistakes by ulting you and keeping you alive. That's why she's such a good support. And then tanks. Tanks, again, function the same way in supports, that they're extremely disruptive, but they can take a lot more of a beating. They don't help the carries as much, they can body block a lot, but they'll mainly be disrupting the backline, CCing them. One like Rampage, if he builds a attack speed item and then goes tanky, he can actually take out a carry that's been left alone by itself, so he can just basically do what a Kalari will do, but then survive and be tanky, so he can be more useful. Again, Kalari's not that great, but Rampage fills the tank role very nicely, as does Steel and Sevarog. Sevarog functions slightly different, where he'll actually protect the carries more like a support. He'll be able to knock enemies away, so he's more of a supporty tank in that sense, and so is Steel with the wall, but he's got the much harder initiation with the ult, one of the best initiators in the game. So that's how heroes interact with the map in general with their roles. I explained it briefly last episode, but I thought I'd better go over it again this episode, and in future we'll go into each individual character and explain exactly what they do in-game, and I'll show you gameplay footage of that. So, we'll go back to profile, and as we saw, we had decks and cards. So I'll just delete this deck here. As you can see all my decks here. You can earn deck slots through, again, daily rewards, leveling your account up. You can buy more with coins. I forgot to mention that in the shop. There you go. You can buy additional deck slots. You can even buy them with reputation for 15,000. They're quite nice to have. I'd still buy card packs over them though, but as long as you manage them properly, it's fine. For some characters, you can have several decks, because, you know, this is a work-in-progress deck for when Hydroversa comes out, which is a new card, but yeah, I have to get that anyway through card packs, and knowing my luck, I'll never get it, because I don't even have the bubble tap, which I want to put in there, but anyway, moving on. We can also check the card collection. This is, like I said earlier, you've got your individual affinities up here, and along with Universal, and you can see which cards you have and don't have. You can see how many of each card you have. When new cards are released, you'll be able to see them in here and see if you want them or not. Of course, I have like 6 times of all the silly upgrades that you'd never want 6 times of in your deck. And you can see them all here. You can see the late game cards that have all the unique actives and stuff. Shockwave's incredible cards. You can see, yeah, everything, upgrades, equipment. And this is all the stuff you'll be able to put in your deck. So I'm just going to go over the basics of deck building. I won't do anything advanced. I'm not even going to build the deck here. So if we click on here, you can see each individual hero again. You select who you want to make the deck for. It even tells you their affinity straight away. You can copy cards from an existing deck. I usually just work on a blank canvas, but you can copy them over from the starter decks as well. And this is when you name the deck, so we'll just call it Twin Blast New. And, oh, capital, of course. Can't not have a capital. And we can click Create. And it'll take us to the deck builder. So first it makes you select your prime, which is really good, because some people forgot to put their prime card in before, and that was really annoying. But as Twin Blast, he's physical damage, you know, he's a carry, we'll pop the Warlord in for now. That's generally the card you pick. Archmagus if you do lots of energy damage, Centurion if you're a tank or a support. But we'll go over those in more advanced deck building. I'm just showing you the general overview. So we will start off with the basic consumables: Health Potion, Mana Potion, Harvester's Key, and Ward. These 4, I usually have one of each in every deck. Sometimes you'll have more Health Potions, more Mana Potions. You generally don't have more Scout's Wards or Harvester Keys. We'll go over how Harvesters function, but generally one of these in each deck is a good idea. Tokens are basically like equipment cards. They have to put them in one of your actual item slots, but you won't be able to upgrade them at all. They're just tokens. They just give you 1 card XP worth of stat, or if in the healer tokens one, it gives you 2. So it's a 2 cost, but it gives you 2 points worth of stats. And these are just filler. You'll fill your deck. If you have spare slots at the end for whatever reason, just throw in some tokens that are relevant to your hero. So Twin Blast would like damage tokens, maybe some health tokens for durability. Just if you have 1 spare card point, 1 spare slot open, chuck in a token, gives you some extra stats. That's about it. You can take them early on. With Grim, I take a health potion and 2 cast tokens, so it just gives you some early game stats. He doesn't need a mana potion, and allies focus on warding and keys for me. So tokens are quite nice to just bulk out the deck. And then we move on to equipment. Equipment cards, they fill like a massive purpose of stats. You can, yeah, of course, just 2 cost cards, which give you a couple stats and an upgrade bonus. Equipment cards function as in, they usually give you less stats and then a good upgraded bonus. That's why I love 2 cost cards. They've got a lot more value to them than 3 cost cards in general. But generally, how a 3 cost card will work is, as you can see here, they give you 2 card points worth of stats for 3 costs, which isn't very valuable, of course. But when you fully upgrade it, you're getting not only the 3 costs worth of stats, but an extra one, so you get 4 card points worth of stats. So that's why you've always got to focus on fully upgrading your equipment items. So on TB, you could build an Adamant Edge, and say their TB had an Adamant Edge. You have 6 card points, so do they, to put upgrades in. I can put 3 2-cost strikes, which will unlock the fully upgraded bonus of this. So I'm getting, let's say, 10 cost worth of stats for 9 points. He's put 2 major strikes in his, so he's still got the same amount of damage in his upgrades and the same worth of points in his upgrades, but he hasn't got his completion bonus for his item, so he'll only be getting 8 points of stats. So I'll actually have the advantage in damage. So that's about completing your power spikes early by slotting your upgrades. It's not actually gonna, I'm just gonna have to add one of these directly so I can look at the upgrades tab. But things like crit bonuses, you can see that only gives you 1 card point of stat for free, which means that crit bonus is essentially worth 3 card points worth of stats. It's a very important bonus for every carry. Every carry should have a crit bonus item. There's multiple of them, so Hunger Maul is also one that you'll slot out of lifesteal and you'll get crit bonus. But in general, everything is worth the stats. There's very few cards which aren't. You'll get unique cards like Merciless. When an enemy is bleeding, you get 12% crit chance. 12% is 3 card points worth of crit chance. So out of this, you're getting 5 card points worth of stats for free, and you don't even have to fully upgrade it to get that bonus. But of course, they have to be bleeding, so it's very conditional. So you've got to be careful with those. But so let's say someone on Grux who always makes people bleed with his right click and his ulti auto attacks, then he can use this card really efficiently and get the 5 points worth of stats quite easily. He can access that potential. And then you get some more unique cards as you get further down, like Injured Rage, when critically wounded, so when you're under 25% HP you get extra stats. It's 4 card points worth of stats, that is, plus the 2 initially, so that's 6 card points worth of stats for 4. It's a decent card, but it's not amazing though. And then you get even more situationally useful things. You have to be critically wounded, then kill a person, then you get % of their enemy HP. So there's all these cards that you'll learn over the course of playing Paragon, and they all do unique things. It's one of the best things about Paragon. This is one of the systems that throws new players off a lot, so you've got to really learn how to make decks if you want to be able to use them properly in game and fit your play style in general. So, and then again you get things like Portal Stone, Universal card. It's not a very useful one, but the big 7 cost cards tend to have the most unique effects, whereas these sort of cards just give lots of stats. When you're buying a warding item, or a key item, like I said, with 3 card points of stats you usually get 3 card point equipment cards, you usually get 4 card points worth of stats rather. And a key and a ward item, you'll get your 2 card points worth of stats and your key or ward immediately. But when you fully upgrade it, you'll only get 1 card point of stat worth rather than 2. But I'd say a free cost warding item, which has 3 card points worth of stats and wards, is much more value than a free cost item that'll give you, say, like Fountain Spike, that'll give you 4 card points worth of stats when fully upgraded, because wards are worth 1 card point worth of stats. Everyone should have a warding item in their deck for late game. If you've got a max build, you need a warding item so you can keep vision around the map, because one pick at that stage of the game can win the game, because you can be dead for like up to 80-90 seconds, let's say it's a minute and a half. So just vision is really important. Then we go to upgrades. It's only going to show health and damage because I've only got health and damage as a stat in my deck. If I just chuck in some other upgrades, like we'll pop in, yeah, Red Rage High Engine. We'll pop in a crit item. We'll just chuck in that because we can chuck in everything. There we go. Just a bunch of random upgrade cards, just so we can see a big variety. So, putting Blood Powder, of course, you're not going to put this in a TB build ever. It does energy damage, so we have to go with the damage types. You have to think about the type of damage your hero does. It doesn't say anywhere, so you're going to have to learn them off by heart, which is kind of a shame. But Twin Blast does pure physical damage. You never want to put energy damage cards in Sky. Repeat, never put energy damage on Twin Blast. Putting casts, putting Burn Blood Powder, putting Agora and Scepter, any energy damage card, just no, not on Twin Blast. He's physical damage. You can't do that. The stats, they don't give you anything. They literally do nothing for you, so you'll just be wasting card points. I can't pull that enough. You see new people building energy damage on Twin Blast or physical damage on Gideon. It doesn't do anything, so just avoid putting those cards in your deck. Generally, there is like 1 or 2 exceptions to this, and that will be, for example, in Sparrow, there's a card called Status Gem that's a 7 cost. It gives 7.6 energy damage, but the active is like Zhonya's from League of Legends, where you turn invincible for 2.5 seconds but can't take any action, so you can't move about or shoot. But it'll make you invincible for that time, and you might want to use that card for the active and ignore the stat, but that's the only other case where you'd start doing that, because otherwise you're just wasting efficiency on your cards. So for Twin Blast, you need your physical damage. You can put mana upgrades and health, and the way this works is an Adamant Edge, it gives damage and health, so you can only upgrade it with damage and health. You can't upgrade it with mana, CDR, energy damage or anything, but you can't upgrade it with those cards. As you can see, if you ever do card linking, you can only put those in. When you card link, what that does is it only attaches the upgrade to that card. So that means you can only build that upgrade on that card. If you add the upgrade directly to your deck like so, That lesser health I could build on any health item in my deck, but if I put it onto the adamant edge directly like this, I can only build it on the adamant edge. This is a useful function for new players to not build the wrong upgrades on the wrong cards and mess up their build, because you have to aim for that 60 card point build. So, card linking is good for new players and for tidying up your deck. If you only have one attack speed item, you can link the attack speed directly in, because you're not going to put it on the wrong card. So it's just for tidying in new players, otherwise try and avoid using it when you can for flexibility in your deck, basically. And of course you get your higher cost upgrades, but the only time you're really using 4+ upgrades is when you're either using cheaper upgrades as well, or when you have active items like a Shockwave, which is a 7 cost that you don't want to upgrade because you get no completion bonus, so you'll pop that in your deck. And because you want to sort of make every card equal 10, because you want to sort of equal 60, so 6 card point deck, 6 card slot deck rather, 6 equipment cards, each one adding up to 10, 6 times 10 is 60, that's 60 card points, which is the max you can earn in game for one specific game when you hit in game. So you want each one to hit about 10, so if you have one card that equals 9, a second card that equals 9, your next card could equal 12. So you know, of course, you can up them down like that. And instead of Shockwave, it's a 7 cost, you might not upgrade it. So essentially you've got 3 more card points to work with your other cards, so you can put bigger upgrades for more stats. So, in general, that's how completion bonuses, damage types, upgrades, equipment, basic consumables, and that's the basic overview of deck building. We'll build some proper decks for individual heroes and go over more advanced things in deck building in the future videos. So that's all of deck building. We can delete that deck because it's useless. I've got a bunch of decks here. You can build multiple for different heroes, just for different play styles, and adapting to the enemy team in general, because you want decks for every situation. You also want your deck to cater to each situation, so generally you might not fill your deck. I mean, I've got a few decks that like only 35, 33, but they get what they need to be done. But you should generally try to fill your deck like this one. You want lots of situational items. Again, I've used card linking here. Again, some of it's unnecessary, but I quite like it this way because of how I get my power spikes and what I build initially. So I can actually card link with this one. But again, you can leave upgrades up for situational stuff. And there's the Shockwave, so I can put bigger upgrades into certain cards, like a 4 cost and lots of 3 cost upgrades, which cost more because this one costs cheaper, so do my 2 4 costs there. So that's deck building, that's the menus, and that's how heroes interact with the map. I hope this video was useful to you, and if you liked it, it'd be good if you could like and favorite it, so that more people can be aware of it, and share it with your friends if you want. Just to try and improve on Paragon. I'll be doing this series every Tuesday and Thursday, like I said last video. And if you subscribe, you can see it pop up in your sub box. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed and that this was useful to you. And hopefully I'll see you next time on Agoraphobia. Thank you very much for watching.